Hi and welcome to my guide. Today we will be completing the quest Sins of the Father. The quest requirements are Vampire Slayer and A Taste of Hope. The stat requirements are 49 magic, 50 attack, 50 slayer, 52 agility, 56 crafting, 60 fletching and 62 woodcutting. Items needed: any kind of good equipable axe, a knife, a chisel, having at least 1950 coins, or vyrewatch shoes, tops and legs. Then also your Ivandis flail. If you have lost this, you can get this back by talking to Verdida in the Meyerditch hideout, which is in the southwestern corner here at Old Man's basement. Talk to Verdida, pay him 20,000 GP and you will get this back. Then also a ruby, as well as the runes or a tablet to cast level 3 enchant. For the recommended items, depending on how much you weigh, between 3 and 4 stamina potions. There are no weight reducing clothing needed except for near the end of the quest. Then also a good pickaxe might be helpful to speed up the daeyalt or mining, an antidote for the second Demi boss fight, and having a minimum of 3, but 8 would be nicer, empty inventory slots. Then also some food, armor, weapon and potions to kill 5 mobs up to combat 141, of which 1 demi-boss of combat 133. All of these monsters can be defeated using any weapon of your liking, so that is why I have brought along an abyssal whip. Then there's also a second demi-boss of combat 204 and the main boss of combat 413, and these two must be defeated by using your Ivandis flail. And for the main boss fight at the very end of the quest, you will also need to bring along a fast-hitting ranged weapon, because there's a mechanic similar to the Vorkath boss fight. For teleports, 2 teleports to Slepe, I will be using the Dragon's Medallion. 2 teleports to Paterdomus, I will be using the Salve Graveyard teleport. 1 teleport to Fenkenstrain's castle, I will be using the teleport there. 3 teleports to Meyerditch, I will be once again using the Medallion. 4 teleports to burgh the rott, I will be using the mort'ton elixir number 3. If you currently don't have these, you could also replace those 4 teleports with 4 mort'ton teleport scrolls. And also one after the quest is completed. So where to start this quest is here in Slepe, located north of TOB and south of Port Pass. Let's talk to Valley of Huts and select option 1 and then 3. After speaking to him, we will need to enter the church just next to him. On the northern side somewhere you should find a jester. Talk to him and select option 1. After speaking to the jester, we will need to go south-southeast into the pub. Let's talk to bartender Karyll and select option 2. Shortly after speaking to him, we will need to start our very first Demi boss fight. To kill that boss you may use any weapon of your liking, but be sure to have brought along some food, armor and weapon to do so. But first, let's go south, outside of the pub. There you should find a barrel. Inspect it to get inside of an instance area of Slepe, in which you will need to follow Karyll without getting seen when he occasionally turns around. If you happen to be seen, or you let Karyll escape your view, then he will spot you and you will fail and you will end up next to the barrel. Just inspect it once again to try again. So after the cutscene is over, let's go a little bit north and stand south of the wall with the anvil sign. That will be safe spot number 1. Just wait for Karyll to turn around and afterwards continue his walk. Next, simply go a bit northwest and stand east of the door of the church behind the plants or the roses. No, they're just plants. After he has turned around and continues his walk, we will need to run a little bit west until you see some gallows. Just a bit northeast of the gallows you should find a big hollow tree. Go stand east or south of it. Or maybe southeast, doesn't really matter. Until he turns around and continues his walk. Next to the gallows you should find some wooden structure. Go stand north of it and you'll find 2 dead trees. Let's stand east of the western dead tree. After this one, this will be the most difficult one. I would say to toggle off your run energy, and once he continues his walk, follow behind him. Do not stand too close nor too far and simply follow him until you see a dungeon sign inside of a building. Go stand inside of that building, not too far inside of it, just next to the doorway until he turns around. Once he continues his walk, follow him. Go walk on the same path he's walking onto, so he doesn't leave your view. Once you're in the graveyard, just go a bit south and this should trigger the cutscene. After the cutscene is over, the very first Demi boss fight will occur. In this boss fight, simply use protect from magic. And the second mechanic is when he slowly throws a vial at you. Simply avoid it and then you should be fine. Aside from that, you may use any weapon of your liking. If you're using ranged, then you may use the lab tables as a safe spot. After you've defeated the first demi-boss, let's destroy the eastern lab table and then also the western meth lab table. After you've clicked to continue, let's run south, open the gate, and then run north to the quest start and talk to Valley of Herds. Select option 1 or 2, doesn't matter. And then select option 4, I will be going. Next, let's teleport or make our way to Paterdomus. We'll now need to talk to Valiev, who's located at Drizel's place. So here at Drizel's, let's talk to Valley of Herds and select option 1. After speaking to Chisel and Veliath, let's teleport to Fenkenstrain's castle, and just south of the entrance, behind some dead trees, they'll find Ivan. Talk to him to trigger a cutscene. After the cutscene is over and there is some more dialogue, after this dialogue is over, let's make our way back to the entrance of Paterdomus. Near the entrance of that Paterdomus, they should find a red quest sign, which is the minigame sign. Just a bit east of it, they should find Ivan. Talk to him and select option 1 to start your temple track, in which you will need to kill 2 vampire juvenites, which will require you to have your Ivandis flail, as well as 3 nail beasts of combat 141. But first, let's go a little bit northeast in the first room, equip your axe, and then cut vines from the swamp tree until you get 3 of them. Once you have 3, use 1 on each other, and then use a rope on the overhanging branch, just like 3 tiles north. And then click on the rope that you've just hung to swing across. And Ivan will follow you. Next room, we will need to defeat 3 combat 141 nail beasts. But Ivan is quite weak and you will need to protect him. So let's equip any weapon of your liking around the edges or the rim. Click to continue to follow the path. And let's now quickly, as fast as possible, kill the nail beasts. And definitely defeat the nail beasts that are attacking Ivan. If it is possible, then block the path of the nail beasts trying to get or trying to reach Ivan. Ivan is doing nothing. He's such a bad support. Dude, he just walks by and I need to do everything. Help me. What the hell, he just walks by. After you defeated the 3rd nail beast, let's go a bit north. Click around the edges. Click to continue to the next path. In this one, once again, you will need to equip your axe. A little bit south, equip the axe and cut down the 3 dead trees. Then walk onto the bridge and use any of your logs on the broken bridge and do this 3 times. If you haven't equipped your axe, then you will need to have a hammer in your inventory. Cross the fixed bridge, go further east, and continue your path. Next one, you will need to kill 2 vampire juvenites. Kill them or attack them as fast as possible so they won't be attacking Ivan. There we go. Once both have reached to about 50% or less, then you may use the special attack and they won't be able to damage you or Ivan anymore. But I think that's kind of a waste of time if you have both of them aggressive to you. Just get them to about 25 to 30% and they will use a smoke screen to escape. Alright, once they both ran away, let's go a bit north, continue the path, select option 1 to make our way to Burgh the Rott. Once we have reached Burgh the Rott, continue your conversation with Ivan. So you get a fade to black. Next, let's go a bit south and go to the bank to get some free inventory slots. Let's get at least 8 empty inventory slots. I currently have 6. I'm just gonna be eating some food, I suppose. Be sure to keep all of your items required at the start. You could bank your ruby and your level 3 enchantment if you really have a dire need for inventory space. Also bring along a weapon to kill a modified bloodveld, as well as your flail and an antidote to defeat the second boss fight. So I do want to bring some food though. Right, I'm just gonna be depositing the steel darts then. The second boss fight isn't really too difficult. Also, by the way, the second Demi boss fight is instant, so as of the making of this video, all lost items in the instance will be permanently lost. Let's go back to the rowboat that we have used a couple of times during the Darkness of Helloville quest, just southeast of the bank. And there on the dock you should find Valiev as well as Ivan. Let's talk to Ivan. Next, let's click on the boat and select option 2 to go to the Icene graveyard. Right, after the conversation is over, next to OR Drakan they will find a mausoleum door. Try to unlock it and you will now see a kakurasu puzzle. These numbers that you currently see on the right and the bottom side are random for everyone. The puzzle is quite self-explanatory. To begin this puzzle there are 2 quick easy tips. First, because this is a 5v5, let's see if you have any numbers that are equal or less than 4. So for me I have 2, a 1 and a 4. So for the 4 on this row, what is not possible is a 5. So if I click 1 on this tile of 5 in the row of the 4, this will mean that it's already red, which is too much. If I toggle it once again, it will be marked with a red flag, which means that it will need to add 0. And that is it. It could be a 4, but I am not sure. It could also be 1 and 3 that also equals 4. So I'm not sure about that. The next one is a 1, so it can't be a 5, it can't be a 4, a 3, nor a 1. Next, for the second tip, is if you see that you have any numbers that are equal or higher than 11. Numbers that are higher than 11 will always require the number 5 to be active. I only have one 11, so I am 100% sure that this 5 must be active. And because the number 4 must be a 0 and I still need 6, then these 3 need to be active to be able to get 11. And that is it for the tips. Everything else, since all the numbers are random for everyone, I will need you to calculate the rest on your own. I will see you when the puzzle has been solved. After the cutscene is over, we will need to talk to all members of the myreque, but this must be in a specific order. First, let's go a little bit southwest and talk to Ivan. Southern part of the graveyard. After speaking to him, we will need to go north and talk to Verdida. After speaking to him, we will need to go to the northwestern corner. They'll find 2 members. First, we'll need to talk to Karyll. After speaking to Karyll, we will need to talk to Verdida just next to him. After speaking to Verdida, let's go to the southeastern corner and talk to Paul Maffey. And after speaking to Paul Maffey, let's go to the southwestern corner, near the docks, to talk to Veliav, and they will all finally agree to help you. Afterwards, after speaking to Veliav Hut, we will need to make our way to Meyerditch. Wow, this conversation takes forever. Alright, after these long conversations are over, let's teleport or make our way to Meyerditch. I'll be quickly using the dragon's medallion. Let's now make our way to the Meyerditch mine. To do so, let's try to find a vyrewatch that is flying and talk to it. Select option 1 if you managed to talk to one while it is flying. If it came down to you, then we'll need to select option 2 to be sent to the mines. Once you are in the mines, just like in the Daughters of Hellovale quest, let's start mining 15 ore and depositing them in the minecart. Right, once the card is full, let's talk to any vampire juvenate to be asked to be excused. After you've made your way to Meyerditch, let's run southeast until you can't go any further. Until you hit a wall in a corner triangle thingy. Here they'll find the slashed tapestry of the previous quest. Just a bit south of it they'll find an eastern facing door. Click on it and then make your character do the running. Get inside of the building and go through the tapestry. Next open the door just east and go inside the meth lab, the regular lab. There you should find Salafan. Talk to him and select option 1. This will trigger a cutscene and afterwards you will need to feed a updated, stronger Bloodveld. Once you've defeated the mutated Bloodveld, there will be a fade to black. Let's continue talking to Salafan and select option 4. I will be back. Next, let's go a bit west to the northwestern wall. There, they should find 3 cages. Next, they'll find a bookshelf on the western wall. Search it to get a book. Return this to Safalon. Return to Safalon and select option 1 and then 4. After selecting number 4, let's teleport to burgh. Wait, that's the wrong teleport. This is burgh teleport. If you would like to prepare some more before the second boss fight, then go to the bank right now. You may deposit your pickaxe as well as any other weapon that you might have except for your Ivandis flail. Then also grab some food, armor and potions, your Ivandis flail, an antidote might be helpful, as well as 1950 or more GP, as well as at least 3 empty inventory slots. Then also teleport back to burgh and 1 to Slepe. And let's continue running southeast to the boat to go to Meyerditch as well as the Icing Graveyard. We'll need to go back to the Icing Graveyard, so select option 2 once you've reached the rowboat. Once you've reached Icing Graveyard, let's go back east to the mausoleum and talk to any of the 3 characters. After speaking to these 3, let's make our way back to Meyerditch. I'll be using the medallion teleport. We'll now need to go to Old Man Rel's basement, where we've completed the quest A Taste of Hope. It is located in the southwestern part of Meyerditch. So around here, the southwestern part of Meyerditch, south of Old Man Rel's house, there you should find Trader Sven. Let's trade him. and buy 1 vyrewatch top, legs and shoes. Next, let's head into the old man's realms basement, or the original myreque hideout. In here we will need to talk to Paul Maffey, the guy with the green shirt. Select option 1. After you've gotten the unscented noble tops, let's go back upstairs and let's run south to the boat, the rowboat. So just like in the Darkness of Hellaville quest, let's try to find the broken wall. It will be marked by some red lines on your minimap, and climb over the rubble. Go a bit south, climb up the floor, continue going southeast and climb down to rocks. Yeah, rocks. Let's board the boat and let's make our way to the Ice-Seeing graveyard. Let's go back to the 3 characters and talk to any of them. They will notice that they are unscented. To get a noble vampire's blood on it, we will need to kill the second demi-boss. So if you want to prepare for it, then do so right now, and afterwards let's make our way to Slepe to go back to the quest start. The second demi-boss fight shouldn't really be too difficult. Just be sure that you have brought your Ivandis flail. That is the only way to be able to deal damage to that vyrewatch or vampire. Besides from that, he does poison you, so maybe bring an antidote, but the poison isn't really too strong, and that's it, to be honest. Let's talk to Valley of Herds. At the quest start, select option 1 to start the Demi boss fight number 2. So, once again, use protect from magic at all times and use your flail to defeat Damien. Drink an antidote when he poisons you, or not, doesn't really matter that much. And the only special attack that Damien has is that he sometimes spawns a small fire inside of this room. You will need to stamp that out as fast as possible and then just keep bashing Damien until he is defeated and you'll get his blood on your clothes. Stamp that fire out and that's it. Defeat Damien. If he does deal quite a lot of damage, you could also just simply walk away, wait 2 seconds, hit him again, wait 2 seconds and hit him again. This is also how you need to do the final boss fight. Oh, there's a fire. that's why this took so long. There we go. Once you've defeated the second and also final Demi boss, let's continue talking to Valley of Hurts and select option 4. Afterwards, let's teleport to burgh the rott to go to the bank and deposit all of the armor. We will not need it for the rest of the quest until the final boss fight at the complete end. So I'm just gonna be bringing my graceful. So at the bank you may deposit your food, armor, potions and your leftover coins. Then you may also grab your weight reducing clothing and like 2 stamina potions, your Ivandis flail, your axe, ruby, 1 cosmic and 5 fire runes to cast level 3 enchant or in tablet form, a chisel, a knife, at least 8 empty inventory slots, the noble vyrewatch clothing, and then 2 teleports to Meyerditch and 2 to burgh the rott. Be about it. Next, let's go back southeast, back to the boat to go to the Icing graveyard, and let's report to Valiav, Drakan, the woman Drakan and Safalan. Let's talk to any of these 3 characters. And after this conversation is over, we will need to make our way back to Meyerditch, back inside of the mines. But this time, since we have the scented via noble clothing, we will not need to mine any ores anymore. But first, let's try to find any flying vyrewatch and be sent to the mines. There he is. If he's flying, option 1. If he's talking to you, option 2. Send me to the mines, please. Next, equip your Vire clothing, all 3 of them, talk to any Juvenate, and they will escort you or let you outside of the mines. Next, just a bit north, you should find a crack behind the crumbled wall. Enter the cracked wall to enter Darkmere. Go a bit north towards the dungeon sign and then follow it eastward. We will now need to go east until you can't go any further, then go north until you can't go any further, and then go back west. So you basically need to run anti-clockwise around, well, Darkmere, until you've reached the center with the bank and the woodcutting sign. Right, just southeast of the bank, there you'll find a big building. Try to open the large door and the guard will stop you. After speaking to the guard, we will need to basically run all the way back the way we came from. But not all the way back. We will now need to go to the southeastern corner of this town, village, city, estate. To the building with the furnace sign. I'll meet you there. Once you've made your way to the furnace, let's go 2 buildings just north with the water sign. Let's enter that building and talk to mort'ton. After speaking to him, we will need to make our way back to the way we came from, to the building with the large door. But on our way there, we have passed it twice already, is a prison that is located just south of a food store. Inside of that prison, we will need to talk to Maria. And just north of the big building, just south of the food store and the cooking range sign, there you should find a prison. Go inside, and in the southern prison you should find Maria Gatherrangs. Talk to her, and this will trigger another cutscene. After this cutscene is over, we have access to the big building. Once the cutscene is over, let's click south to the big doors of the big building and try to open it again. This time the guard will let you enter. Right, let's open the large door once again and go a bit east. Let's search the first toppled over shelves to find a note. Read it and scroll a bit down to the final paragraph. There you will find a random number of gallons. Close it, and behind you should find two valves. The northern one releases 7 gallons per unit, while the southern one releases 4 gallons per unit. The solution is currently on the screen. Simply look for your own number. So for me that would be 47. The number on the row is a southern valve unit. So for me the southern one needs to be 3. And the number of the column is the northern valve unit. So for me, column is number 5. Once you've done that, let's go a bit east to the rare tree sign and chop some blister wood. And if you've completed the math quiz correctly, you'll be able to chop off some blister wood logs. Get 8 of these. Once you got 8, let's make our way back to Burgh the Rott, and let's make our way back to the Icene graveyard by taking the boat just southeast of Burgh the Rott. After speaking to OR Drakan, let's make our way back to Meyerditch. You may simply take the boat, but I don't really like that animation of climbing over the wall rubble. I might as well just teleport really. Let's make our way back to the original myreque hideout, which is in the basement of Old Man Ral's, just north of Trader's Fen. Open the door and open and clamp down the trapdoor. Next, we will need to talk to Verdida, the guy with the bow on his back. Select option 1 and then 2. After speaking and delivering 7 out of 8 logs and selecting option 2, let's search the box just west of the table to get a sickle. First, cut your ruby if you haven't already, then use this on the sickle and select option 1. Then cause level 3 enchant on the ruby sickle. Then use your final log on the sickle, select option 1. And then use this sickle on your Ivandis flail. Be sure to right click and use because both have an equip option. Select option 1 and you may drop your enchanted emerald one because that is a lower tier. Only the best is good for us. Right, let's now teleport to any bank. I will be using the burgh rott bank to prepare for the final boss fight and complete this quest. So, yeah, deposit your graceful as well as your noble legs. You don't need those anymore. What you definitely need to bring along is your blister wood flail. So I'm gonna be equipping that right now. Besides from that, I don't need anything in my inventory. So be sure to deposit like your coins, your axe, your knife, your chisel, leftover runes and stuff. What you will need to grab is your blisterwood flail. For your gear, just combine some magical defense gear with some strength bonus gear. I'm gonna be wearing some god D-height for my magical defense, and everything else is just gonna be strength bonus like fire cape, Barrows gloves, ring, berserker. Yeah, that's it. No boots. And then a pair of dragon boots to finish off my gear that I will be using to defeat the final boss. Now what we also need to bring along is any kind of quick ranged weapon. Yeah, literally anything is fine to be honest. Then simply some food and some potions and a teleport away after the quest is completed. 3 is gonna be pushing it. Everything else, sharks. I have only 7 sharks. Whoops. Karambons are good enough. Completely forgot about my current stats. Quickly gonna drink some extra prayer. Prayer. Once you think you are ready and your stats are fine to defeat the final boss, let's go back to OR Drakan and the rest of the myreque at Icene Graveyard. Right, let's talk to Veliath or Vascalan, and they will say that Cephalon is currently having a mental breakdown, and we will need to talk to him. So let's go a bit west, then follow the path north, until you see Cephalon at the shore. On our way there, let's turn off our auto retaliate. And aside from that, let's talk to Cephalon and continue through this conversation and eventually select option 1 to confirm that you are ready to fight the final boss in an instance. And as of the making of this video, dying in an instance meaning that you will need to return to the Icene area and talk to Veliath to reclaim all of your lost items for 50,000 coins. Right, the end boss has 2 phases. The first one, in my opinion, is slightly more difficult maybe. In phase 1, simply pray against magic, and the boss has 3 special attacks. First one is that he summons a mini bloodveld, run away from it and use your fast ranged hitting weapon to kill it as fast as possible. Just like with Vorkoth, if it hits you, you will get a lot of damage. Also don't stand on the acid pool it leaves behind. The second special attack is a 3x3 blood orb. What you will need to do is run around it. If you stay close to it, you will take like up to 40 damage. Klaus will follow you and he will need to stand on the blood orb and he will take up to 30 damage. For the fourth special attack is the darkness attack. Once your screen is black, you will need to quickly turn away, similar to the Fremenic Exile's boss fight. What you also can do when your stats are quite low is to try to avoid the darkness attack altogether. To do this is to not stand next to Vastrum Klaus at all. So simply whack him with the flail, then walk away for like at least 2 seconds because it is a quite slow weapon. Once you're able to attack him once again with the flail, stand next to him, attack him, and then walk away once again. Do this until you have defeated him. And then we'll start phase 2, which is quite easier to explain. Simply use Protect from Melee and do not stand on the tiles that are darkened, but be sure to do so very, very quickly. No, 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 you're not. Why am I using protect from melee anyway? Dude! Oh my god, yes! Oh, that was scary. Right, after you have defeated Vanstrom Klaus, another cutscene will occur, and congratulations, you've completed Sins of the Father quest. You are awarded with 2 quest points, access to Darkmere, 3 times 15,000 experience to put in any skill above level 60, the Blisterwood Flail, and also a new Dragon Medallion teleport, which will teleport you to Meyerditch. And also there's now a new rowboat on the eastern shore of Slepe, and that little rowboat will be able to take you to Icy Graveyard, burgh, and Meyerditch. It's basically the same rowboat in Icy Graveyard, burgh, and near the Broken Wall south of Meyerditch. Hopefully it has helped. Subscribe, rate and comment. Okay, thanks, bye. Alright, this was my guide how to complete Sins of the Father quest. Hopefully it has helped. Subscribe, rate and comment. Okay, thanks, bye. Most people set agility, so I'm just gonna be 2 agility, 1 mining. Why not? Where's mining? There we go. Blood? Oh wait, that's the orb. Are you serious? No more food! No! So close!